And coming to you live from Kenny's basement apartment, where apparently I started too early for him. He wasn't ready. It's Sports Allegedly.
Welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode. I gotta get ready. I was December 26, 2023. Thank you for joining us.
Weird hat.
We're gonna talk about. We're gonna cover a lot of NFL. We're going to start with that first, but also down the line, we're going to talk a little bit about college, the upcoming bowl games. This is where the bowl games actually are starting to interest, I don't know, the normal person that watches bowl games. We'll highlight. Those are probably going to be the most two things because the NFL right now is getting to the nitty gritty of the games that and that's why that they continue to, and I've said this over, they've got a calling over everybody.
Years?
Yes, it is. I think it is because the playoff picture is quite interesting. But Sean will pull that up here in a minute. But I think I want to talk. I really want to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, everybody has been, you included, Mr. Kenny. Yeah, I know, Mr. Kenny Pickett fan.
Oh no, it's not pulling up.
And so once he's got hurt. Once he got hurt, everyone was like, okay, it's fine. We'll put in the backup. We'll put in Mitch. They'll be fine. No, look at Mason Rudolph, 17 of 27, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, they did play the Bengals, but hey, Jake Browning actually, besides the 3 picks, had more completions. He did have more passes. Average was down a little bit, but had more yards and did have a touchdown. But the 3 picks obviously hurt. Running game wasn't much. Now, this is one of the games that Najee Harris haters are not going to want to see because he had 19 carries, 78 yards. Jaylen Warren, another OSU product, only had 8 carries that game. He's kind of been receiving the brunt of those receiving. But I thought right there, right off the bat with the and of course that was the December 23rd coverage, which would have been, my days are so mixed up. That'd be Saturday. That'd have been the Saturday game that started. Yeah. They did the Saturday game. So, hey, good for Mason Rudolph. They've already announced him to be the starter. I think that right now that I'm going to pull that up, the NFL, I think they are still potentially in for the playoffs, those Steelers are. Now, I thought that the Bengals, who had played well with Browning, their defense had played better, giving up 34 points to the Steelers when I don't know if that might be their highest output all year. I didn't look at that. But Steelers,
I don't think it's their highest output, but the Steelers' defense always has been tough. And they've been keeping the offense in games, even no matter who the quarterback is. But for Mason Rudolph to win a game and to throw, I pulled George Pickens because George Pickens has not been really targeted all season, but off and on. I pulled George Pickens in the game where Cincinnati's got a decent secondary, and he goes for almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. That almost killed me in beating your wife in fantasy football. I almost didn't make it to the title. Me, one of the OG Sports Allegedlys, almost didn't make it to the title game of our fantasy football. Oh, I forgot. Creston finished last, and you
did not finish last, and I blame the Chiefs and Taylor Swift on my
and loser. I don't blame Taylor Swift, but I got my fun new little guy here, Voodoo Doll. Thanks, Nana, for for the present because it says Des to lose to Sean, and now it's going to have Des crossed out and put Johnny lose to Sean.
Yeah, so him and Johnny's in our fantasy football championship. But no, I thought that
you know what? For the guy that picked the worst team in our draft, I'm playing for the title.
Well, no, I'm not going to tell you about phenomenal rookies that are coming up for you to pick in your draft this year.
One rookie got me.
Who won it for you?
Who won it for me?
The only reason you picked Zay Flowers.
He did. He finally did it for me.
The only reason you picked
Laporta has been doing it for me all season.
The only reason you picked Zay Flowers is so I wouldn't to piss me off.
That was actually true. That was really true.
So anyway, and good win for them.
So yeah, this Browning went up against a tough Steelers defense, and the offense is what surprised me for the Steelers. Where did that come from? Where did Mason Rudolph? Where did he develop this? If
NFL
anybody
thinks that, I don't know why that everyone has thought that this Mitchell Trubisky, and I'll call you Mitchell because you get whiny when people call you Mitch. is
you can
no
slap him in the face.
He's just not any good. Mason Rudolph should have been the second string. It goes right there that there's probably a lack of something there that doesn't like his personality, or I don't know. It's just something. Sometimes players get pushed back, and then he shows up in the game.
Bullshit talent that they do all the time.
Well, no, and Mason is a very. I mean, he's been in the league since he came as a. What year did he come into the league? Probably
2018.
Okay, so are you sure?
Yep,
not
I looked it up.
Okay.
Nope, it's 2018.
Well, I thought he'd have been there longer than that.
Me and another guy at work thought that it was longer, but it was not. It was 2018.
Right now, the Steelers are third in the AFC North. They've got about a 17% probability to get in, but they and them and the Bengals are fighting right there, both 8-7. But let's move on. I thought that was one of the most surprising games of the weekend.
Yeah, because Cincinnati was on a roll. They're trying to get back in the playoffs. They're right there on the doorstep, and they should have walked right over.
Let's move on to the Cleveland game. Now, when you talk about the Cleveland Browns, it's going to kind of be a story of they're running on all cylinders. They're 10-5 right now. Now Texans, obviously C.J. Stroud was hurt, but that's not really what I want to get into. I mean, Davis Mills, Case Keenum, very average games for both players at quarterback. We knew once C.J. Stroud went out that Houston was going to struggle. They're 8-7 now. They are still on the bubble.
Joe
the Colts,
Flacco is saving Stefanski's job.
The Colts. But that's what I want to get into. Joe Flacco, 27-42, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks kind of in odd times. One was towards the end of the game. They were throwing for the end zone. That was a pick. So I think they were going for it there. They probably could have kicked a field goal. But I thought the more interesting thing was I want to talk about that money and Deshaun Watson. They have looked better with his $4 million. And don't be fooled by Joe Flacco's 1-year, $4 million contract. It's my turn. No, this is not. It's not a 1-year, $4 million contract. It's $75,000.
Yeah,
it's $75,000 a game, and then the incentives will build up to that $4 million.
Are you talking about Flacco's?
Yes, Flacco's.
Yeah.
Now, you as Cleveland Browns and their fans, they traded 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Signed him to
and got rid of the Tampa Bay kid.
Yeah, and signed him. We'll get to him next. And signed him to one of the richest guaranteed contracts of all time right then. And the guy's hurt constantly. He hasn't done anything for you. And the Browns, with their defense, have continued to strong arm themselves into the playoffs.
Does that mean Schwartz is going to Schwartz? Schwartz? It's Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz.
You think he's going to get another job?
I don't know. I sometimes no.
I'm happy.
No, I don't think so. I think that he's destined for a coordinator, and he's a good one. And when they hired him,
are you saying this all based on the lone head coaching job that he's had with Detroit?
I thought he had 2. Was he just a one-time coach?
I could have sworn he only had the one.
I know. I do remember the the Detroit one was a debacle.
And that's when he had Megatron. Who was the quarterback? Stafford was a quarterback.
I guess, yeah, just the Lions, 19 through 13.
Yeah. Yeah, he's only had one head coaching job, but he's been defensive coordinator everywhere.
That's true, and it's done pretty well. But no, I thought that was we talked about that on the pod. I thought that was a good. It wasn't a secretive hire, obviously, but it was a off the radar hire as far as defensive coordinator goes.
Yeah, because wasn't he at Buffalo the year before? Where was he at the season before, or was he in Baltimore the season before?
He was with the Titans. Yes.
Oh, so he was in Tennessee.
But he was a defensive assistant, and then he was with the Eagles for 4 or 5 years, and then he went to the Titans as a special assistant. So I think that was the coach.
Okay,
the
so I thought
change.
he was okay. So he was the D coordinator in Buffalo,
yes.
But they fired him, and I don't know why.
That might have been a coaching change too.
Yeah. No, Vrabels has been there forever.
No, not at Tennessee. He was
Vrabels has been there.
He has, but he was a special assistant. He wasn't the coordinator at Tennessee.
I was talking about Buffalo.
Vrabels
why he was let go out of Buffalo
I don't know.
and then went to Philly for those 2 seasons.
But no, good hire by Cleveland. The defense has led the way for them, and like I said, Joe Flacco, he did throw the 2 odd picks, but they wasn't game crushers.
God, Joe Flacco. Do you know Joe Flacco's like 5-10 days older than? He's 38. He's just a few days older than Peyton Manning.
Oh, really?
Yes, I saw that stat the other day, and I was like, "Oh, interesting stat for Kenny." But yeah, he's 38 years old, 38 and almost coming January, February. He turns 30. He turns 39.
Well, he's having a heck of a year coming off free agency. Now, remember, the Jets had him.
For 2
Do you not
years.
think the Jets probably could have been playoff bound with him rather than
No,
the Zach Wilson?
I don't think so. I don't
Really?
think so because Slay and Stefanski are 2 different coaches.
Who's Slay? Robert Saleh?
Yeah, Slay. Isn't that Slay? Slay, whatever.
No, I don't.
Fucking poop,
But
poop head.
Who's to say that? But no, I don't.
Okay, the offensive coordinator they have now would probably be better with Flacco than the one that they had the 2 previous years that when Flacco was there.
Well, yeah, because it's Hackett.
It's
this year.
Hackett now, yeah. But yeah, they didn't have that. So,
but I'm just saying.
Stefanski is
I'm just saying. I don't give a shit what anybody says from that fan base or that coaching staff that Flacco would have given them.
if you're a pocket passer, Stefanski has you and can make you a great looking quarterback. Look at
42 throws seems high though for Cleveland. I thought a little bit. Generally they run the ball a lot more, and they only ran the ball 30 times.
Remember, they're really without a run game.
But I mean, Amari Cooper, 11. I mean, that was a record game, so they just kept going to
But
265
look at
yards.
their rushing. Who they have? They have Jerome Ford. They have Pierre Strong, and they
Hunt's
have
back
Hunt.
too. But I guess what I was saying though was generally you still see them run the ball more than throw, and they did.
Well, they're just relying on the passing game more now because they don't have
correct
that heavy running game.
And Houston was behind the whole game, so they ran the ball 16 times versus 49 attempts for rushing.
Against a very staunch, Cleveland defense.
And Case Keenum and Davis Mills obviously don't have the running ability that C.J. Stroud does or the throwing ability.
No.
So, all right, let's move on to Tampa.
Oh.
The Bucks. I could have closed with them. I could have opened with them, but let's leave them in the middle to get the real good stuff.
Let's go to Chicago.
No, let's not. So, no, I mean, what we've been talking about, all the Mayfield haters, and there's a plenty of them out here, not as much around here, though. Even my son, Zach, who definitely has bitched about him and said that he wasn't going to
He's been a hater. He's been quite the hater since the beginning of the season. So, now, you, me, and Creston, when R.I.P. Creston, when sorry, he's not
figuratively.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
We want him back. We waiting on him to come back.
He's coming back.
But we wanted Baker to do well. We wanted Baker as OU fans. We wanted Baker to be able to find a team and succeed. And what he's doing right now, especially with what you call a depleted O-line.
Yeah, I don't think they're any good.
Baker he only took two for 18 sacks in this game against Jacksonville, who is not a pushover.
Well, and I think what you look at back Tampa Bay up a little bit. You look at the running game; they don't got one. Rashad White's talented, but they 36 carries, 70 yards, an average of 1.9. That shows you that offensive line is not good. So then you turn around and you have Baker Mayfield. He's having to win the game with his legs, and that's why the sacks wasn't as bad. And with his arm.
Well, technically, he was 5 for 5.
No, but I'm saying, you rush those 1 yards, the sacks aren't there, is what I'm saying. Right. So, and what you do is you're using your arm, but the key to Baker is the interceptions. 0. I mean, that's what he has done now.
Oh, yeah, keep his mistakes low, get him guys open in the flats, get him open across the middle, and he won't make those mistakes of him trying to have to throw long all the time.
I took Tampa with the over. I think the over-under was 5.5 or 6.5. Took them with the over, not much more than this. I thought they'd win about 7 games.
You took Jacksonville.
And, I have a theory, and I'll talk to you about that. The last 3 games I've picked against Tampa, they've won, so I'm going to keep my theory going. And I don't know
so you're trying to get them in.
Yeah, so whoever they're winning playing next this week,
well,
I'm picking against
your wife
them.
Your wife and I think Zach actually took them to cover.
Yeah, so that's good, and I'm glad they did.
She went 5-0 in NFL. You and I are pretty much. I have 1 game over you. That's all I can beat you by right now is 1 game.
Bad. So no, the contract 1 year, $4 million. He took a risk on himself. Went to Tampa. The thing about that,
Tampa took a risk on him too.
I guess.
Who's Tampa's backup?
Trask, and he's not any good. He was a wasted draft pick, in my opinion. I said that when they picked him. I mean, he's just not that good.
Kyle Trask was a wasted draft pick no matter what.
Yes, I mean, and I said it. I mean, I watched Florida play him as a quarterback. He's okay. He's a backup. He'll never be anything more.
Now,
he's not a starting
as a
quarterback.
Tampa Bay fan, do you believe that they keep Baker as the starter, and they bring in they do draft another quarterback?
No.
As a backup.
Nope. Trask is
because
a fine
you
backup.
do need a backup.
Nope, Trask is a fine backup.
But I'm saying this is a very
Unless
loaded.
Unless you get him in the 6th to 7th round.
That's what I'm saying. This is a very loaded quarterback class.
Yeah. There's no
that you could be able to take a guy in the 6th round.
There is, but when you look at Tampa Bay, they're not a quarterback away. They're all the line pieces. They need O-line.
Well,
they do need another running back.
There's defensive pieces.
They need another linebacker, and yeah.
But what I'm saying is, do you at least have somebody behind Baker to learn from Baker, who can set behind Baker?
No, I don't think there's. I mean, unless you're finding somebody the 4th, 5th round that you think could be.
But that's what I'm saying. With as loaded as this class is,
as long as you've got all your players before that, I don't.
Or
have
do
a
you
problem
take it
with
next year when you've got like 6 guys coming up? I mean, Kendall Slovis, JT Daniels, those guys will be available.
See, those guys shouldn't be drafted at all. No one should be drafted.
No, I got that. Yeah, anybody that changes teams.
If you need generational backups, you got enough starters this year to fit that
anybody
position.
that changes teams 18 times should not be. They're not to be trusted. They're just going to roam around the league.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought Trevor Lawrence was a bust, but I kind of did. And the guy's just not.
But they've had the same record. Well, okay, let's take out the the college party coach, Urban Meyer. Yeah, we can't count that one. But since he's been there, they've been average. They've been the same team.
And that's what I thought he would be.
But you know what? They did win a playoff game.
They did, and they were down 24-27 nothing.
Yeah,
and they did come back.
And
so that's got to be some of their defense.
Tampa
and some
Bay
of their
lost
offense.
lost again. With Tom Brady that last season.
Oh yeah, the line was dismal.
Whatever
it was.
The line was dismal,
and it is, and it still is, and that's something. Yeah, exactly.
Damn it! The yes dear button is screwing me.
So that's exactly why that they need to draft not O-line in the first round. I like the tight end.
I actually don't mind them taking running back or O-line in the first round.
No, take the tight end. Take Bowers from Georgia. That'd be a perfect fit. It's a good mobile. I mean, they need a tight end.
Tight ends, dude. There's 800.
Man, I'm telling you, that guy.
1,800 tight ends.
The guy's generational. Mark it down. Mark it down. I'm just telling you.
Okay, how many generational players have you picked that actually have panned out?
Well, Zay Flowers looking pretty good. Bijan just needs a better coach. And Jamar Gibbs, we'll talk about him. Let's segue into that.
You never called Jamar Gibbs generational.
I did too.
You did not.
Let's move on to. Let's go to
Bijan was your generational.
Let's go to Detroit. Well, Gibbs is. That's why I drafted him high in my fantasy.
That was a 6-point win against the Vikings.
Yeah, I thought it was a division game. Even Mullins had 4 interceptions. I didn't think Denver or Detroit looked really so good. It was very just vanilla, but I think
Nick Mullins is going to lose 4 interceptions.
Yeah, 4 interceptions.
I did not even see.
But and that's what killed Minnesota, because Minnesota still has a good defense. They really do. The defense is still there from last year. It's just the offense.
They didn't have a good defense last year, but the offense was winning.
But they had a pretty good defense.
No, because remember, they were winning games by 3 points. We talked about this. Their defense was abysmal last year. That's why going into the playoffs, we were like, oh, God, they're going to get kicked out first round. And they did.
Well, yeah, because, it's the Vikings. Even their offense and defense, neither one of them are great. So you're just going to
their offense is way better. Their offense kept them in games and won the games.
You're going there having a good – well, because you had two
having
good players
having a good time?
No, you had players that were giving you stats.
Hey,
but overall, you're
going to have a good time.
No running back to be Madison. They ain't any good.
Oh, that hurt you. Are you still sore about Madison?
Don't care.
You still sore about Madison?
I kicked him off. That's why.
I know you did.
2 carries, -1 yards.
Hey, can I have Jahmyr Gibbs for?
No.
But you're not even playing him.
But I bitched about that.
I just need you to drop Jahmyr Gibbs so I can pick him up.
Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, another tale of give Montgomery the ball continuously until he doesn't do anything. So now you've got a 5.3 average for Gibbs. Montgomery's a 3.2.
Could you please drop Jahmyr Gibbs for me to pick up real quick?
Well, I'm out, so I don't play anymore.
But you can still drop him.
But good to see Justin Jefferson back. 6 receptions, 141 yards.
Oh yeah, good to see my boy.
Now Hawkinson's out though. That's
Jordan Addison. T.J. Hawkinson is out, yes. But Jordan Addison went out after the first play.
Okay, Vikings still currently in it. They're in the 8th spot, 2nd place. So
they're sitting behind
Vikings, Falcons, Packers.
They're sitting behind Seattle.
Yes, exactly.
They're sitting behind Seattle and LA.
The Rams, yes. That's exactly
now.
right.
Seattle and LA, everybody's 8-7. So any one of those teams loses at least one game, Minnesota's right back in. And you keep going down.
Wait a minute.
No. Keep going down on this.
No. Wait. Let me see. Hold on.
No, keep going. That's our standings.
I don't think it is. Hold on.
It is. It really is.
Look at the games. We're in week 17. I want an update on that.
That's what it is. Here, look.
Pull it up.
Watch. I'll go here.
Yeah, we'll pull up the.
I'll go here. I'll go to
playoff
standings. I'm going to teach Kenny how to read.
No, it's just that's it. It says when it has the next game.
Okay.
And it's the game you've already played.
Okay, sweethearts.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do.
Okay. Yeah. Go to the right, Vince. Thank you.
Look at this is where I'm at. All right. This is the current. So, L.A., Seattle, 8-7. Minnesota, Atlanta, Green Bay, New Orleans, and Chicago. The Bears still not eliminated, still in it. Any one of they win 2 more games, there's a possibility they're in the playoffs. If Minnesota and Green Bay and Atlanta,
they're
one of the Seattles,
some of those.
One of the Seattles.
It's kind of like the Raiders getting into the Raiders.
It is.
The Raiders need a lot of help.
But we need a lot of help. But you know what? He's playing for his job right now.
Who's that?
Eberflus.
Oh, he should be fired. It's a trash team.
I think his offensive coordinator should be fired.
It's not the quarterback problem either.
Okay, well then I want the offensive coordinator because what he's done with the defense, he's turned it around and we've won how many games since he fired the
Better,
guy?
you've won 6. Yes, yeah, okay.
You know, and we did it with Tyson Badgett and we did it with.
But I mean, are you going to give him and the current GM the first pick in this draft? It looks like with the Panthers.
I don't know about the current GM, but I would give him. I would fire the offensive coordinator. Do not get Caleb Williams. You need a Drake May. You need a guy that is more intelligent and not emotional. I don't want an emotional quarterback.
By the time
that's what I love.
So you're going to draft quarterback number 1?
Yeah. Well, no, you can actually draft a quarterback later. So I'm taking what's his nuts first. Wide receiver. I'm taking Harrison. I'm taking Harrison first.
See, I even disagree with that. Now, if you can't,
you would because you're
if you can't find a good trade
because Tampa Bay wants him.
you find a good. No, I want Bauer.
Because Evans is about to leave.
No, he's not. But anyway,
he's old.
So you need to trade that pick.
Oh no, absolutely trade it. We're going to trade it to somebody that really wants it
to get Caleb Williams.
So take Caleb.
That's why I say you kind of find that 3 and 4 range you could bump down and get
absolutely
exactly who
that's
you
what
want.
I'm saying.
Still get 2 or 3 draft
I am
picks.
not upset with Penix. I'm not upset with Nix, and I am not upset with Drake May. Yeah. But I would take Nix and Penix over May.
Yeah, I would too.
Just because of their longevity and their.
Does he remind you of Sam Howell a little bit? It's like a North Carolina
quarterback. Trickle.
Another North Carolina quarterback.
A little Trickle Trubisky. We don't want to rehash that in Chicago.
Yeah. And they struggled a little bit in college. So no, a couple. let's talk about our local flavor.
All right, Dallas losing the number 2 position. Good job, Dallas.
How do we?
How do you blow that? How do you blow? Now you said there were a bunch of bad calls. I said it was just it was the fraud bowl.
Oh no! Now I didn't.
Dallas Miami was the fraud bowl.
They're a lot alike.
They're very much alike. Very much alike.
But I don't think the calls that I saw in the game were just the inconsistencies of the referees. I thought that the times that Micah Parsons was one. There was I cannot remember the other guy that had the defensive penalty. It was roughing the passer when the quarterback.
Oh, you told me.
Two was going down, and he essentially had one hand on his back, and he he didn't even elbow him. He forearmed him rather than tackle him.
Here's the thing.
And wrestle him to the ground.
Here's the thing. Joshua Dobbs became a runner in one of his last games. He became a runner. The ball was pitched back to him, and he was a running back. They called roughing the passer on him, on the defensive guy. Even though he became a runner and he was running the ball, there's no consistency.
It's bad. I mean, because I watched that and I thought, okay, now then you turn around, you watch Micah Parsons. I mean, he's running all over the place. He's getting held like whodunit, and then you turn around, you watch a defensive back. He's grabbing his arm like that or something. It's like,
he's doing a little slap, and it's all of a sudden. Now, were those AFC refs, NFC refs?
It was NFC. Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't. I mean,
Do
they
we
have?
even have-
They
do we
don't
even
have
have-
that. No, it's not like college.
What team was it? Now you got to look at what team it was because there's been some very embattled teams this season. The inconsistency is what is killing the NFL in calls. Inconsistency in pass interference, inconsistency in holding, inconsistency in roughing the passer, inconsistency in targeting.
It's not that it's a problem that you call the penalties or they make mistakes. It's just what you're seeing from us on air.
That's right, Dustin.
You can see it's so much different than what they called last week or the first half or whatever. And sometimes,
But I mean, game to game, it's week to week, game to game.
well, it's almost that the refs have become an emotional part of this, like basketball. And you know as well as basketball they do because they're right there, and you'll see them refs throwing their arms and whistling and doing this shit. I mean,
we found out that
they're the
that
biggest
guy.
crock
We
of
found out
shit
that
anyway.
guy was making bets, and
well, that's just one. But
he was, but the main ref that we had in the NBA for years.
yeah.
He was controlling games, and he even said that. He goes, "You're gonna get." He would tell players, he goes, "You better watch yourself. You're gonna get called foul."
And I'm not saying that Dallas got screwed on that.
No,
because of the penalties.
Dallas did screw themselves.
I thought the
From
worst
what
thing.
saw,
I thought
they
the worst
screwed
thing
them.
about Dallas was that first quarter drive by Pollard going into the end zone half-ass and got tackled, and then the next play they fumbled it. That was a 7-point swing. It might have been a 7-point swing. Either Miami scored either a field goal or a touchdown on the deal. The next drive that they got the ball. But I thought, man, I mean, why are you are just half-assing it? You got to dive for that. Touchdowns aren't given. That's why you play every play.
One touchdown in the first quarter
that he didn't get, and the next play was fumbled. And I thought Dak Prescott, while his numbers will give you the idea that he played okay,
he's a genius.
I thought
I
thought that he played
generational.
No, I thought that in big moments, and it's been his life in the NFL, in big moments, in
really
big games on the road, he cannot get it together. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
He's like you. He can't finish.
No, I mean, it's just, what is it about him that he cannot do? And
we asked the same thing about you. So
go back down. Go back down to the receiving. I mean, you have CeeDee Lamb had a hell of a game as he always does. Nobody else did anything.
Yeah, no, I did leave Brandon Cooks out for that 2 for 14. I think that would have got me 10 points.
No, I mean, they just didn't do anything.
But you look over here, but you look on the other side, and Tua has two. Okay, now we're going to say Tua's main receivers are Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and Braxton Berrios. That's who his main.
Generally, Berrios has kind of come up.
That's who it's been. But look at this game. This game, it was Tyreek, who didn't even make it to the end zone.
No.
Durham Smythe, who I haven't heard his
but
name.
But no, I mean,
really
I don't think that.
Jalen Waddle came in at 3. He only had 1 reception out of 4 targets,
and that was
for 50 yards.
It was a big play.
And then you had Cedric Wilson Jr., and Cedric Wilson Jr. was the guy they were relying on late in the game.
No, I think that, and I'm not blaming Dallas on their defensive side. I thought Dallas's defense played really well.
No, but what I'm blaming is Dak not being able to spread the ball around the same as Tua.
Oh, a 3.9 average for running for Dallas. I mean, with a line that you're supposed to have, this badass line, and I know there's been some injuries there, but I just think that they perform just so differently on the road, and that's a mindset, that's leadership, that's coaching.
Who's Hunter Lupke?
No, he might have been the guy. Was he the guy that fumbled it? Look down at who was the running. Was he the fullback that fumbled it?
No, I think that was Dwaddle.
No.
Yeah, Rico Dutton. No. Oh wait.
Fumble. Up.
I don't see any fumbles.
Yeah, there was a fumble because I.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's Dak Prescott.
No, he didn't fumble it.
That's the only fumble that they have.
See those stats. I mean, I watched the guy. Well, okay, he never had possession, and maybe that's why they count him.
There you go. You got to remember that. You got to remember that because I've watched games too where I'm like, oh, that.
But it was the damn running back.
I was like, that guy fumbled, and it was like, oh wait, no, that guy never actually fumbled because he never had possession.
No, you're right. So right now, Dallas, 10-5. They're the
number 5 seed
right now
because they have to drop down because Philly won.
Yes, Philly won, and they don't look good. They look different. They look odd. I don't know. That's what makes the NFL so good.
Their offense looks the same. Their defense looks lost.
Let's talk. Yeah, and that. Well, no, I mean, I thought Hurts didn't. I mean, he played okay, but
But
I mean, I'm not gonna.
But their offense has looked the same.
I'm not gonna shit on Hurts. I mean, because we got Colin Cowherd calling out the Rams coach is one of the greatest of all time in the sports.
But what I'm saying is, from
they beat the Saints by 8. Come on.
Having Jalen Hurts as the quarterback all season, it's looked the same. I can see there's the consistency. It's looked the same. What has looked different is the defense. The defense for the Eagles has
they're weaker. They are.
Has looked weaker.
They are.
And that generational talent of Jalen Carter, who killed a person.
Timeout.
Definitely.
Never said that.
He's just there.
That's your line, not mine.
No, you said part of a generational defense.
Overall.
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he is.
Now the other guy that they drafted looks way better than he does.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Nico?
Part of that same defense. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of a generational defense.
Of that generational
Not a player
defense
per se. Yeah.
But it's the defense.
But you have all those guys in the NFL. Was my whole point.
Okay, let's look at the fumbles here. Like, they are just on a fumble. Boston Scott, Britton Covey, Jalen Hurts,
only
and
lost one.
Gainwell.
Only lost one.
No, they lost one.
one.
But still, 4 fumbles.
Beat the Giants, who were pretty down playing with DeVito as a quarterback.
DeVito got pulled, and Tyrod Taylor got stuck in.
And so, I mean, and the Giants made that interesting actually towards the game. It was actually interesting.
I mean, it was an 8-point win.
And the Giants had the ball at the end.
8-point win. 8-point win that should not have been an 8-point win.
Correct.
Should have been a massive blowout.
And there were some drops by Giants that could have made that game even better, closer. But I just think the 3 teams that have been the Mecca teams. You talk about the Rams.
Consistent.
You talk about the Eagles. Excuse me, the Eagles. You talk about the Cowboys. You talk about the Chiefs. I mean, let's talk about them. I mean, is Bieniemy the one that's being missed here? I mean, what's going on there?
Bieniemy's definitely the one that's missed in Kansas City.
I mean, we all blame the wide receivers, but I mean, you watch quite a few of those play in that Kansas City game, and you watch replays. There's quite a few receivers open. Mahomes just ain't hitting them. Now, do they need some line work? Yes, they do. Now, but we talk about them and the Raiders. But hey, listen, the Raiders had two touchdowns on defense that won that game. I don't think they got they didn't score any points on offense.
Remember my dark horse?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember I said Josh Jacobs gonna be out. I got his backup.
And but they didn't do anything. I mean, they didn't score, and the completion rate for.
But they put it down.
Go to McConnell's completion rate. He had an interesting stats for some starting quarterbacks. Yeah, 9 of 21, 62 yards.
Oh God.
Yeah. Exactly. It was. I mean,
this was a run first.
But like I said, you take away the 14 points that they scored, it was 14-6. I mean, in Kansas City had a.
The defense scored 2 touchdowns.
Yes,
didn't
the Raiders. So one was a pick 6 from Mahomes, and the other one was I think it was a fumble pickup and then run back. So
it was a stupid score.
But I mean, and then you got Brock Purdy. They played the Ravens last night.
Baltimore.
He lost the MVP championship, or he lost the MVP award last night.
He did. I think it's Christian McCaffrey.
I don't think so. I honestly think the front runner. I like Tyreek up in the race. But I think that
you're gonna say Lamar Jackson.
I do. I really think that guy has
How
been
many
pretty
games
consistent.
has Lamar Jackson lost?
3. He's been pretty consistent,
right,
and he hadn't thrown 4 picks in one game.
Yeah, but here's a question that I need to ask: did San Francisco lose all those games to the NFC or the AFC Central?
You talking about?
No. Okay, so they beat. Okay, the Bengals is the one that they lost to.
Yes.
Or the Vikings.
Browns, Vikings, and Bengals.
Right.
Yes.
That was They could not beat the AFC Central.
That's a good point. Did they play Pittsburgh?
Yes, they did. That was the very first game of the season.
Kenny Pickett. See, if Mason Rudolph might have been in there, they might have.
Totally different game. But yeah, so that was that 3-game losing streak they went on with the Vikings, and then they went on. Look how many wins they went after they lost.
But I mean, but you look at the schedule. I mean,
So guess who's gonna be the favorite again to win the Super Bowl because.
Well, they're gonna go 2 wins at the
You
end.
win this many, plus remember how many he won at the end of the season.
So they play the Rams at the end. Is that when people that are claiming the Rams are going to be a force to be reckoned with? Do they beat the 49ers at the end of the year? Because I mean, they're
I'm
obviously
just glad that I don't have
they're-
Tyreen Williams
they're-
going against that defense.
they're obviously
rushing.
they're obviously going to win against the Commanders.
Yes.
And then you turn around and do you see,
They will win the Rams, and they'll go on that streak again, and they'll get to the Super Bowl. What is that? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game? He had 8 games before that, unbeaten.
19 touchdown. Okay, right now you're talking about Lamar. He's thrown for 3,300 yards, 66% completion, 7 average, 19 and 7. But no, what I wanted to look at his losses. So he lost to Indianapolis in overtime.
That is a bad team to lose to.
Yeah, but 22 of 31. I mean, didn't look bad.
Still bad
2
team to lose
touchdowns. He didn't have any interceptions in that game.
Oh, here we go. Complete offensive leaders.
His worst.
Tua is over Brock Purdy.
His worst game was.
Where's Lamar in this? Where is Lamar?
Oh, he's down a little bit.
Lamar?
He's down right
number
there.
15. How many interceptions has he thrown all season?
7.
Okay, 19.
Which is but I mean, you look at C.J. Stroud's at 5. He's been
Only
out some
19
games.
touchdowns.
But see, that's pretty low though for interceptions. I mean, look at that.
Well, yeah, because you remember he just runs first.
Some.
No, first he just runs first.
He's got 786 yards of rushing.
He gets scared and runs.
Well, it's working. I mean, they're going to be the number 1 seed, it looks like, in the AFC, and he's looking like he's going to be MVP.
See this guy right here? That's who you should have drafted in your fantasy, because you would have rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns.
Sure.
Because he passes as well as rushes.
Correct.
And he rushes last.
How many passing touchdowns does he have?
20.
20 and 13 picks.
Yeah.
Which is up there.
Well, he's been.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's look at how many fumbles he's had.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're not looking at.
Yeah.
I think he's had a fumble a game
that's
for the
essentially.
last 5 weeks.
So are you still I did want to mention that I thought the worst coaching job, but we'll talk about it at the end when I talk about it.
Worst coaching job for what?
I thought
NFL?
Sean Payton this week blew the game for Denver.
Oh, no.
Let's talk
about that.
They kind of went on a streak.
Denver's playoff hopes are gone. They lost to 3-4 Belichick. Belichick came in like he was Darth Vader, and just how did he do that? How did Belichick just sit there and get under Sean Payton's skin? Because look at the last drive that they did. Look at that last. He just sat there and he made Sean Payton call timeouts.
Yeah. So going into the fourth quarter, it was 23-7.
Yeah.
Denver scores 16 points and ties it up, and then so there's about a minute left, or maybe minute 50, and then all of a sudden they just turn around and go. New England runs it up the middle, gets about 3 or 4 yards, timeout. Denver, and I'm like,
how it was put.
Now hold on.
How it was put was a fat Ezekiel Elliott jumped a guy.
I don't know if that was that play.
No, but he did. But he did jump a guy, and they're like, "Look, we get it. It's mile high, but gravity doesn't work that well."
It was something that I thought that was poor coaching, because he kept continuing to take the timeouts, thinking that he was going to get the ball back.
Go back and look at that game.
I watched it.
Okay, you watched it? How many swing passes? How many swing passes did he do?
No, that you're right, because but I'm just.
It was a Jeff Levy offense losing to Kansas.
I'm talking to that.
No, keep throwing it back behind the. Just keep throwing.
You might be right. Yeah.
How many? They couldn't get anything going on screen passes. Every screen pass was stopped.
No, I would agree with that.
Don't look at you and me.
I would agree with that. No, I was trying to set that timer. What is the time? Okay.
It's there. No, this is the one you want to look at.
Okay.
This is what we are.
So what I wanted, but I thought it was just the worst coaching.
You say.
Yeah, thank you. It was the worst coaching because they cost him the game and they cost him win. Denver should have won that. Denver should have won that game. Hey, Kenny, swing pass. Chiefs.
Jeff, you want a Jeff Levy? But the Chiefs losing to the Broncos, or the Chiefs losing to the Raiders, I was like, fuck yes. How do you like that?
Not me. But it doesn't matter. I mean, they've played.
Well, you're not in the running for the 6-foot-tall trophy.
So I want to give you one interesting stat that I realized after this week. That can you tell me the team that leads the league in yards after catch per play?
Yak?
Yeah.
Well, it's
per
not.
play.
It's not 49ers.
No, just per play average.
You
Not
know,
overall, just per play. Because some
I
teams
heard
play
this.
a lot more.
I actually heard this.
It's the
other day.
49ers. You got it right. Thanks, Sean. I wanted to bring that up because it's not total yak. It's yak
Kenny.
per play.
Kenny, you just cannot let that go. Every team does yak.
I know. And I looked that stat up and I thought, wow, I'm surprised that the 49ers ain't as high up there. But then when you realize that they run the ball so much with McCaffrey, then you look at the yards per play yak, that's when they take the lead.
That's fine.
6 to 7.
And that's
Or I
fine.
think
But that's what you want.
6.8.
You know what that's called? That's called having playmakers on your team.
I totally agree. It just doesn't have to be the quarterback.
All right. Do you want to look at next week?
Drop that, yeah. Oh, yeah, let's look at next week's schedule and move on to a little bit for the bowl games.
Because bowl games are
Finally going to be good.
few and
we're
far.
going to close on
we're
those,
getting
yes.
into good stuff. Jets Browns is going to be a homecoming for Joe Flacco. Lions Cowboys is going to be a rehash of the Rodney Peete versus Troy Aikman.
Christmas time or Thanksgiving time.
Yes.
Yeah,
The game that when we were young kids, we remember.
But now look, you've got Dallas at home, 6-point favorites.
Lions have already clinched.
Yes. Think they just don't do much? Is that what you're thinking?
Who, the Lions?
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, I can't improve my stock anymore. Which I
The
think
only
they could.
thing that they can do is
Can they get the
jockey
2 seed?
position. But you remember, there's only one. There's only one bye week this week.
Oh, okay.
Is that the fridge?
Or is it that?
No, that thing's off.
Oh, okay, random noises.
That thing blows the circuit. So if I turn that on, it blows the circuit. So there's only one bye, and that's the number one team, and so far that's San
Correct.
Francisco. San
Correct.
Francisco has that,
And the Ravens on the other side, yes.
and the Ravens on the other side.
So as we preview that,
So they're looking for 2-3.
and that's going to be a fun Saturday game. That's actually going to be
They
Saturday.
cannot
the 30th.
fall below the Cowboys. And that's what I'm worried about. Do I keep Laporta in or do I take Laporta out?
They probably could because there's 2 games left.
I know. And then that last game I think that's why the playoffs are the way they are.
Falcons and Bears. Go Bears. We need to
Yes.
get Falcons down.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Oh, Steelers and Seahawks means nothing except for their playoff hopes.
Both
each one.
playoff hopes. Well, the Raiders Colts also means playoff hopes. Like
Raiders
right
need
now,
a lot
we're
of help.
looking- we're
They're
looking-
more like a spoiler.
Patriots gonna try to play thrill kill in Buffalo.
Buffalo's still.
And I need Jared
we'll
Cook
get
to
that.
run. Look, Jared Cook's already got 1,800.
His touchdowns haven't been great, but he's had a better year than I thought he would as far as starting off.
Rams are going to be going to the Giants. That's going to be a killer for the Rams because they do
That's
going to
be the
good
NFC
outdoors.
South game of the week: Saints and Buccaneers.
Saints and Buccaneers, yes. And Bucker Mayfield. I want Bucker Mayfield to win. Even though I picked the Saints to win the division,
I did too. I think
we all did.
We're all the same.
I am Baker Mayfield all the way because of how much fun he's having. Eagles, Cardinals,
Shouldn't be an issue.
but it's gonna keep the Eagles above Dallas.
Yeah, if they win, it shouldn't be an issue though.
Niners, Commanders, that should be a comeback for.
There is some pretty stinky games.
Panthers, Jaguars, the bad South Kitties. You know.
Dolphins, Ravens will be fun.
Well, but just the Ravens are gonna win. We already know that.
Could be a letdown game
For everyone?
for
Zay
Ravens.
Flowers?
For Ravens,
We better
Could be
no,
for
not for
Ravens.
Zay Flowers.
but they're.
I need Zay Flowers 30 points.
Then we've got Chargers, Broncos, Titans, Texans. Texans still have a hope. Titans, they're just battling.
They're out. They're done.
Oh, Chiefs and Bengals. That might be a goodie.
And it's in Kansas City. And remember, Joe Burrow owns Kansas City in the regular season.
That's what we've heard. Except
That's
he's not
what we've
playing.
heard.
Except he's not playing. So is it Browning head? Is that what
Oh, here we go. Packers, Vikings.
But like you said, both teams are still in it.
Both teams are still in it.
Final four, still the same as last week?
What, for
NFL.
NFL? Yeah.
Who was it?
What?
49ers,
I've
Eagles.
got Niners, Eagles, and Ravens. God, I don't know the Bills. Sean McDermott's play calling kills me.
Bills Ravens still for me right now.
Are you sure?
I do. As long as they don't match up.
But
And I think I'm afraid they might, but maybe not.
Yeah, I was just saying, but
well, no, if the Bills can get in not the last playoff seed, then they won't if they win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they'll play the Chiefs or somebody like that.
but McDermott's play calling has killed me because
Or the winner of that.
they almost lost to the Chargers.
I agree.
That was bad play calling. That was
Well, it wasn't McDermott. You're looking at Joe Brady now calling offense.
But
Bills.
still.
No, I thought they were
bad.
vanilla.
It was bad play calling.
I thought they were vanilla.
All right. College football.
All right, the two big games we're going to talk about this week. What do we do in our pod next week? Because Mondays are the big games. We don't want to really do it on that. Are we doing it Sunday, or are we going to move it up to preview?
I don't know. Let me see.
We'll give you a heads up on that. Because I got to think about the schedule, because I think that Monday isn't Monday.
Stop.
New
Well, we
Year's
have
Day.
Saturday. I remember almost Saturday, so we can do Sunday.
Nobody gives a shit about Saturday.
Okay, so our big games are coming up Wednesday. That's the Louisville USC and Texas A&M
Oklahoma State. Ollie Gordon announced.
No, we want to see these. Did he? Is he staying?
Yeah, he's staying. Yeah, Ollie Gordon announced.
Okay, good. I'd rather him stay.
Are you? I've got a just weird feeling that Oklahoma State rolls them for some weird reason.
Well, I picked Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought a little bit. Now I'm beginning to think they're going to kill them. I mean, who at A&M wants to be there?
Coming up is the Arizona Oklahoma game, and your bartender Patty kept saying, "Go Zona! We're written for Zona," and I was like,
"Why?"
I was like, "You're about to get
They're Cali
fired."
people.
I was like, "You're about to get fired." Oh, because no, she's Arizona. She went to Arizona.
I'm not concerned about.
Talk to your Bart. You need to talk to your employees.
I'm not so concerned about Oklahoma winning or losing this game as much as I'm concerned about. I want to see how Jackson Arnold does. I want to see how some of the youngsters play. We're gonna have some offensive linemen that's gonna be older, but then they're gonna play some of the. They're gonna play some of the younger guys too, because some of the older guys are gonna stay for the bowl, which gives them credit. I want to see the running game, and then I'm not really concerned about the defense because it's gonna be pretty fluid. I just want to see the young guys, and I want to see how they play. Arizona's got a good quarterback. I want to see how they can contain the running quarterback that Arizona has, and I think that's going to be the key to the game.
One of my favorite games that was coming up, and I saw the line for this. Missouri, Ohio State. I need to tell you, I wanted to take this line when it was a half a point.
So why is Missouri?
It's one now for Ohio State.
Why is Missouri? Why are everybody thinking they're going to win this game? Because of the lack of give a shit from Ohio State?
They're an SEC team. They've been beating teams they're not supposed to beat this season.
No, they haven't. And let's talk.
They were not supposed to beat K-State. They
were
were not supposed to beat K-State.
No, they're not. They're SEC. They should. I mean,
they
got
also
better
hung
talent.
with Georgia.
Huh?
They also hung
Did
with
they?
Georgia.
That game was never in doubt that they were going to win.
But they still hung with them. They still stayed right there.
No, what you're saying is they didn't get killed by 30.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, so let's look.
They hung with them.
No, I want to look at their schedule a little bit because I think everyone has really said that they're going to be.
They lost to LSU by 10, and by the way, FSU beat LSU by how much?
So that makes the LSU win look worse. I mean, you're proving my point.
You mean the Florida State win look worse?
No, no.
Florida State beat LSU.
That's what I'm saying. It makes the Michigan loss look even worse.
To
LSU. If they already lost to Florida State, an ACC team, that didn't make the playoff.
Missouri.
Yes, Missouri.
You said Michigan.
No, Missouri. I'm not talking about Michigan.
But you said Michigan.
Well, I meant Missouri because you were talking about the Missouri game. But
but you said Michigan.
Anyway,
I don't know where Michigan came from.
They lost to Kansas State on like a 900-yard.
No, they beat Kansas State.
I mean, they beat them
with a 900-yard
kick. Yes. Memphis lost by 7. No great shakes. LSU beat them. Vanderbilt sucks. Kentucky had an off year. Well, we know South Carolina just sucks. They beat Tennessee.
You mean the albino rattler?
So the Georgia game was only 9, and then they barely beat
slaughtered
Florida.
Tennessee.
They barely beat Florida.
But Tennessee was such a weird team.
I'm just telling you.
Tennessee was such a weird team to play.
Ohio State goes in there and kills them. I think double-digit.
But we're going to take it. We're going to take it.
Double-digit.
And I wanted to take it at a half point. It's up to 1 right now.
Good. Double-digit wins. What I'm thinking. Now. We got Saturday games.
We're also doing this game.
Yep.
We're also going to do Ole Miss, Penn State. Sorry, you guys can't see it.
It's 11.
We're also doing Ole Miss, Penn State.
It's 11 a.m. game, Ole Miss, Penn State, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. and that's going to be in Atlanta,
The
of
Peach
course.
Bowl? The Peach
So you're going to have. Man, I like Ole Miss in this,
I do too. I don't know why.
even though
I
Penn
hate
but
it.
I
I
just,
hate.
now you have to remember Manny Diaz gone, left, defensive coordinator for Penn State, now the head coach at.
But Ole Miss still does
Duke?
not have a defense. Like that's what got them beat by Alabama. That's
No,
what's
I
got them
think
beaten.
I think one of the did we see Ole Miss and Missouri play this year, or were they off the schedule?
They were off this season.
Okay, but when I talked about those games, they didn't play Alabama.
That other loss, I think, was LSU.
Okay, so same one, high scoring game was that one too.
Yeah.
The LSU and or did Mississippi win that game?
The LSU.
Yeah, it was like 49-42. No, Mississippi won that game against LSU. That was
Well,
one of
who
their
they lost
losses.
to?
Yeah,
Georgia.
I think they had to play Alabama.
Yeah, it was Georgia.
And what was the other one?
Alabama and Georgia. That was
Yeah.
their two losses.
Yeah, you see, Missouri
And
no,
Georgia
no Alabama,
slaughtered them.
no Alabama on that schedule.
And they beat LSU by.
Yeah, that's right. They beat
4
them in
points.
It was a high scoring game.
Was that 4? Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah. No, but I that's going to be a fun game. Actually, one of the more fun games that
That's
you're
what I
going
took.
on
That's
the bowl.
so I was like, I'm taking
And
this
you're
game.
going to say that. So what's the Saturday games?
Oh no, we lost Texas State.
Texas State did
won.
beat
That's
Rice.
congratulations.
I had Texas State. G.J. Kenny, head coach there.
Congratulations, G.J. Kenny.
He will not be there long. Trust
No,
me.
not after that.
He'll be there one more year and probably be gone.
He'll be
No,
he'll
go back
be
to your
paid
Saturday
one way.
games.
That's where I'm going.
Oh, okay. Looked like you were going back.
No, I'm.
Does
Everything-
Lincoln Riley?
everything's up in
Does
that
Lincoln
day.
Riley and USC win that game? Is Lincoln Riley going to coach? I mean, I'm sure he is. Is
Well, I don't
he
know.
leaving?
I don't
mean,
know. I don't know what's going on with that game. I have
what
no,
a cluster up there.
That's on Wednesday. That's the Louisville USC game, and
Yeah, tomorrow night.
we know Brom. We know Brom, and we know Brom's quarterback still there.
Looking like a lot of points.
Looking like a
Looking like a lot of points.
Looking like a lot of points.
All right, but give me a. Let's preview that, and then we'll go back to OSU and Texas A&M and give me a score.
So we're going down. We're trying to find the other games that I'm taking. So I took that one. I took that one along with the OU.
this
Arizona.
Saturday game, the 30th.
I stayed away from that. I don't even know if the Georgia Florida State game's happening. Florida State's lost all their quarterbacks.
They're all leaving.
Georgia's lost quite a few of their players as well.
I don't know. Is that a big fuck you to the Orange Bowl?
It is.
that
It actually
into
is,
the committee and all
It's
that
it's
stuff?
like it's going to be like an underclassmen bowl.
Yeah.
Let's just play freshmen.
I just don't think Monday's got a lot of good games either. Except when it gets
Tennessee,
to the playoffs.
Iowa. I did not want to take that. I know the Oregon's going to have to play Liberty, and they're just like.
It's an
Really?
it's an early game it's an early game in Arizona, which is surprising. Then you go over to Orlando and you watch Iowa and Tennessee score 6-3, and then that's
Why do you
when,
think they took Oklahoma last season?
And that's when you
That's why they
and
took
that- and
Oklahoma,
that's-
Florida State last season.
and that's when you get down to now
I think they should have taken Oklahoma in that Cheez It Bowl again.
that's probably would have been more fun.
It would have Oklahoma, Tennessee would have been a hell of a lot fucking better than Iowa.
So Alabama, Michigan, Texas, Washington. We're going to preview that next week.
Will we be able to?
Yes, we'll be here. That's a Monday game.
So
right?
we're gonna do Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So we'll do. We'll.
And we're gonna have to have Craig Sampson in here.
No, Craig's coming after. Craig's going to come after, win or lose, the Texas game.
No, I want Craig in before.
No, he's not before. He's coming after.
Craig in before. I want that bitch in before.
No, he's coming
That
after.
Craig.
He's coming after.
I thought he's our new police
win
chief.
or lose, win or lose. But
Craig
anyway,
Sampson, our new police chief.
that is not true. But anyway, moving on.
Craig Sampson, fire and
give-
police.
give-
Guess who hates himself?
Give me a predicted.
Absolutely right.
Give me a predicted score of OSU and A&M.
God, see, I hate that. I hate that because. All right, so Ollie Gordon's gonna come back, right? Bowman's still there, correct?
Yep.
Like
And
he's
he's
lost nobody on that team.
He's trying to get a 8th year, 9th
It's
year.
from what I've seen, he has lost no one on that team. But you got to remember, this is an old Big 12 rivalry, and who's coaching that game for A&M?
Elijah Robinson, last I saw.
And you know what? The backup coaches have had great years in their first games. I might have to go 38-37, 38-30. Let me get 38-34.
Talking about the OSU game.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about OU? I went 31-27, not real far off.
The OU game.
I'll tell you mine. I went a little higher, went 38-35. Thought it's going to be a close game up until
For
the
OU?
end. Yeah. They're going to win it in the end.
I want to go 41-28.
OU?
Yeah.
That would be a good win for OU.
Yeah, because it's one of those that I think all the players on OU's teams are more seasoned, better trained. They last longer in the game.
I think you take the playoff.
They won't wear down.
I think you take the playoffs. Let's take the playoff games out of that equation. I think this Arizona OU is going to be one of the more.
And I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything from Arizona.
I think it's going to be one of the best bowl games.
I like Jed Fish coming in. I mean, hey, look, I like to get HPV too. I love Arizona. Party school. But I think that the conditioning does help OU, and especially with that defense. And my cousin Danny coming in, staying, playing,
So full of it.
whooping, got that Stutzman nose, baby, right there. This is power. This is where we derive our power.
We're not going to get a lot into this one because we're really going to break it down either Saturday or Sunday, and we'll post. So Alabama, Michigan.
Poop. We had an hour.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Alabama, Michigan, Texas, Washington. I've told you I'm going Alabama, Washington. I've mentioned that either the last podcast or the podcast before. That was initially. I haven't changed.
I haven't. I don't think I've changed either.
My picks on that. You're going.
Alabama, Washington.
Are you picking the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. We talked about how Washington's front was faster, and they were gonna be able to pound it down Alabama's throat, and Penix going to be able to throw. They're going to establish the run and then get the passing game, or they're going to establish passing game and do the run game.
Texas.
They will be able to get one of those two things going.
Washington.
I think Quinn Ewers staying for another season is stupid. Now him being and playing in the playoff is fine.
Malik Murphy heading to Duke. I thought it was a surprise school.
Very surprised.
But I also think it's interesting because I think
who'd they hire as coach there?
Manny Diaz, defensive coordinator for Penn State. Yes,
Right.
yes. Which I thought was an interesting hire.
Does Manny Diaz not have?
I just don't like that hire at all.
Does he not have connections to Texas?
He was there at Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's got connections to Texas.
That was Mac Brown days.
Yeah, but
Because remember, he almost was like this weird coach and waiting type deal.
he was. Yeah,
And then
that's
that
right. He
got
was.
odd, and then they had to let him go. And
Yeah.
I think he went down to Miami.
They had a
maybe, or
Jimbo
something.
issue. Yeah, Manny went south.
I don't know. I just the amount of coaching that as far as college, and I'll as we start to wrap up here,
And when we've talked about how we're having problems picking these games because we don't know who's going to be there day to day, week to week.
Well, I must admit,
unless it's in the final.
How many bowl games have you watched though? Much? Bits and pieces?
7.
The whole start to beginning?
Maybe
Not me
7.
at all. I've watched bits and pieces, but it's tough to.
I've watched bits and pieces, but I've also.
It's tough to sit there and go, I don't know half these players, even though sometimes I didn't know half the players that were playing then. But then it even changes up, and then there's been a lot of blowouts, a lot of runaway games, because you see certain teams that just don't give a shit about being there.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
but that's what the bowl games have become. You've got the smaller teams that want to be there.
Now,
They think
sometimes, yes.
The smaller teams love being there. The Power 5 teams are what you have to watch out for, and when they get into a lower bowl that they don't feel that they should belong in, you got players bolting.
Well,
You've got players holding out. You've got players transfer portal. So you end up with a decision that you're like, am I picking this bowl right? Am I not? I mean, look at UCLA, Boise State in the LA Bowl. Did we see that it was going to be a 35-22 game?
No, I didn't. I thought Boise actually would win that game, and because there was a lot of heat about Kelly being fired.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good. And now, of course, then you've got Dante Moore. He's leaving. God, I hope I said his name right.
Deontay.
He's leaving, going to Oregon with Dylan Gabriel. So he was a true freshman playing. So I thought that was a loss. But then you turn around and you think, well,
hold on. Look at Syracuse. Remember that Syracuse lost their coach, or did they fire the coach?
fired.
And then they hired a new coach, but they had a decent season. Did you think they were going to lose 45-0 to South Florida?
No, I picked Syracuse to win this.
I did too, because it's South Florida.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
a 45-0 burger. What about UCF Georgia Tech?
That was a good. No, I picked UCF. I thought Brent Key for Georgia Tech 7-6. That guy is not going to be there long if he keeps winning.
No, By
You
no
don't
means will he
do
be.
that at Georgia Tech.
Especially to beat Gus Malzahn and the fighting Malzahnis.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad loss for
Duke
them.
Troy. Duke won by 7, but Troy was picked to win by 7.5.
Yeah, it's a bad loss for me
Because
too.
Troy only lost their coach.
No.
Duke lost
No,
their
they
coach,
did.
their
They
quarterback.
did. They lost their coach. Yes.
Duke lost their coach, their quarterback. Like Duke had a lot of people set out.
Gerard Parker is the new coach for Troy. He did leave. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Now we did get Air Force JMU because we know the coach and he's
He
keeping
went to
everybody
Indiana.
there. And
He went to-
JMU's coach is
Yeah,
leaving.
he went to Indiana. Yes.
Georgia State, Utah State. I think I picked Utah State
No, I
because
didn't. That was a win for me, and South Alabama was an easy one for me.
yeah, I think I took South Alabama. Utah Northwestern.
I missed it, but I thought Dave Braun coaching there.
Okay, so
he's the interim guy. He took over because
he is.
what's his face got fired because of the weird bullshit in the beginning of the year.
No, Bryson Barnes had won all those games in the Pac-12.
He did, but they lost 4 games if you remember. Their offense struggled mightily towards the
Nate
end of the year.
Johnson left, and all of a sudden they go.
But they still struggled. It was bad.
This is a Big Ten team. Nobody cared about Coastal Carolina, San Jose. Then we just get into now we're into the Kansas. Okay, guess the score of the Kansas UNLV game.
I saw 7-7.
Hey,
I cheated.
okay.
Yeah.
Now guess the score now.
Oh, I don't know. 21-7.
Let's see. See just how
No,
bad.
just
Still 7-7.
Okay. I thought you had some prognostication.
No.
that was just
But
a-
I'm just saying. Would you have guessed it's 7-7?
No, I love NLV. I talked about it. I thought that
Didn't their coach is gone too?
No, he's there. It's Odom's there, and
I thought Odom was leaving.
No, he is still there. He should be considered for coach. He wasn't, but was up there. Barry Odom. And then
I thought it
you've
was
got
Greg Odom.
no, and then you've got why am I
Who's
not?
Greg Odom?
He was the Greg Oden, the
Odom,
old big
Odom.
guy.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
Portland Trailblazer, tall guy.
That's what I'm thinking of.
First pick in the draft. Kevin Durant was second. Yeah, it's a bad move.
I still love Bib Poggi. Give me Bib Poggi all day. That guy does not like sleeves.
Brennan Marion is the offensive coordinator touted earlier in the
right.
year for UNLV. But I just thought, now, Deron Neal, I think is how you pronounce his first name, he is coming back for Kansas.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
thought that's a good pickup for them. Kansas,
That's
potential.
That's Coach Coochie Pooch keeping his players.
Possible
What
Big
is
12
his name?
championship.
What is his coach? Yeah, possible Big 12. What is his name?
Can't
It's
think of
not
it.
Coochie Pooch.
No, it's not Lyle. It's he came from Buffalo.
He did. I can't remember his damn name.
It's an L. It's an L word.
Locapoochie.
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Locapoochie.
We're gonna try to figure it out with that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. Do we need to go talk about any other sports? Oklahoma City's still not doing that good in basketball. I saw that they dropped one to the Lakers.
One. They're like 18-9. That's their third or fourth seed. Lakers are pretty good. I think LeBron had a hell of a game.
Still early in the game, dog. What's MLB? I'm sorry.
MLB.
I said MLB.
Oh, no MLB. Is there standings right now? What are they doing? No, but I did.
Shanny Otahai, you
I-
want to talk about that?
No, I don't.
That contract?
No, because it's boring. That's why the MLB is the least watched professional.
Okay, you
sport.
just got passed by the Nuggets. You guys were in number 2. Now you're down to number 3. And the Sacktown Kings coming after that.
Well, yeah,
ass.
and we can't beat
You guys
Sacramento.
cannot- you guys, that is one of the greatest things that I think is Pelicans. You know what? Pelicans still right here, number 7.
I do want
They
breaking,
have been sitting right here at number 7.
breaking news though that
Bo
Detroit
Bob?
breaks the NBA single season record with historic 27th in a row loss.
Oh yeah, they're
in regular
2-28 right
Yeah.
now.
So looking like now
Does it look like the bad boys of Detroit are back?
Cade Cunningham wasn't the
You think they're going to trade him out?
no, but he's okay. I mean, he wasn't generational. He just wasn't. I'm beginning to wonder if Wembanyama is. I mean, now,
Wimbayana?
Yeah.
Oh, no, everybody says that.
But I-
Wimbayana.
but I can't.
Because everybody is
But I
saying that
can't shit-
Wimbayana
But I can't
is the way that he's shooting, the way that he's playing. It's all him.
I can't shit on him though
Everything.
because the team around him is horrific.
But yeah,
It-
absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
All right.
I
I don't have anything
know.
else.
I don't.
No, I'm
Fantasy football. So let's just reiterate. Kenny, you played to stay out of the poop bowl, but I mean, like, to not win the poop trophy. Creston, our missing other third, he won the poop trophy.
He's last place.
And I am playing. I'm playing against Johnny, who's one of your workers, right?
And he's one of my employees. Yes.
Playing against him, an old
the
guy,
championship.
for the title.
Now to give him,
And I'm glad that one of the original sports allegedly
now to give him
are
credit,
in there.
to give him credit, his number one pick, Jefferson, was out like 5 weeks, and still he's made the championship.
And so have I.
Yeah. Who was your number one pick that went out for 5 weeks? No one. Stop. You haven't had any bad injuries.
Yes, I have.
Who? Waiting for big timers. None.
Jalen Hurts was out for a game.
No, he wasn't for 2.
Jordan Addison's out now.
Who's
and
your
I need
backup?
him.
Purdy. So you can't say that you didn't have an option. Even though he never played him. He's generational talent.
I did play him. I played him twice.
When Hurts was out for once and you thought it was a better matchup.
Still played him.
Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you before New Year's. We'll have a preview of the bowls and the games. We'll be either on Saturday or Sunday. We'll give you a breakdown and we'll give you a timer. We'll set a timer when we're ready.
So Saturday is what we're doing?
Sounds like it.
All right.
All right. Thank y'all.
I've got it. I turned it. Oh, no, I turned it.